Welcome to another episode of the Brittany Gee Show. I'm your host, Brittany Gee, and in case you're new to this show, this is the show where we discuss relationships, life, and love. Today's show, I'm going to be talking about reasons why that person that you're talking to, yes, that person, doesn't deserve another chance. Love is a crazy thing. It gives us strength in times of weakness, and in many cases, it does the reverse. Even when we know that a situation doesn't bring us the happiness we long for, we still continue to stay with hopes that the situation will change and magically transform into something that it hasn't been for the entire relationship. One thing that I've learned is that you should never make a man or a woman tell you that they don't want you more than once. This can be tricky though, because people don't always say that they don't want you verbally, but they do it when they don't come home at night, when they disappear for days on end, when they leave you on red, when they refuse to change after you've asked them to more than once, and especially when they continue to cheat. Someone once said that if a relationship were treated like a business, then it would save us a lot of heartache. Of course, this doesn't mean to look at a relationship as a business in the literal sense, but to look at it in terms of whether it's a wise investment for your relationship or not. Is this someone that adds value to your life? If you were to add all of the elements of their life and fuse them in with your own, would it be a wise decision? You should view the time that you spend, the intimacy that you share, whether physical or mental, and all of the experience together with someone else as an investment. You ever heard of the phrase, time is money? And if you aren't seeing a return, then you should highly consider whether the relationship is meant to be. Now, as someone who always likes to see the good in others, I have a habit of making excuses for why someone might do the things that they do. But that wasn't until someone reminded me that it doesn't matter why someone does something, only that they did it. When I thought about this, I realized they're right. I mean, we have all the reasons that we need to cheat on someone, to lead others on, to treat someone poorly, to use someone, just to be an all-around bad person. Like, enough stuff has happened to us in everyone's lives for us to have all the reasons that we need to be a horrible person to someone. But what separates you from a horrible person is that you decide not to be that way. Insecurities, childhood traumas, a father that was never present, a girlfriend that betrayed the boy that you're talking to or the guy that you're talking to in the past is never an excuse for someone to treat you as less than what you deserve. Like I said, we've all been through things, but we decide who we want to be and whether those choices will affect us negatively or make us stronger. Now, with this in mind, I have compiled a list as to why you shouldn't give that person a second chance. Now, the first thing is because you're training yourself to accept less than what you deserve. Relationships, whether romantic or not, help to shape our ideas and thoughts about ourselves and about others. And when we constantly take someone back that has betrayed our trust multiple times, we're training ourselves to accept this type of behavior. I mean, think about it. Have you ever met someone that was in a relationship and their spouse is constantly cheating on them? And it seems like they're okay with it. I mean, of course, they complain about it, they gripe about it, they get upset about it, but they're still staying there. I'm sure the first time that they found out, they were absolutely devastated. But after it happens over and over and over again, they start to get numb to it. And that's why people that are physically abused, they have a tendency to go back to their abuser because, not because they want to be abused, but because that's now what they think love is, or they feel like they're too deep in it, that they can't get out, or they feel like things will change. But let me just tell you, things are not going to change. I mean, we are like 25, 30, 40, 50 years old here, and you can't change a person. The person has to want to change themselves. And sticking around in a relationship that you know isn't healthy for you, it's not going to benefit you. All it's going to do is just tear down your self-esteem, and it's not going to benefit you in any type of way. You have to leave that relationship, and you have to teach others how to treat you and how to respect you. And if they don't get it, you got to leave. And that's just what it is. And I know it's easier said than done, but when you stay in a relationship like that, it damages you mentally. Even if it doesn't seem that way, it definitely trains you to accept the things that you should not be accepting. And that is changing you. I remember when I first got into my previous relationship, and before I got into that relationship, I used to watch divorce court all the time, and I would be like, man, I would never, like, if my boyfriend or my husband never came home, like, that would be the end of it, blah, blah, blah. It's like, before we get into all of these relationships, we think like, that would never happen to me, I would never do that. But then I got into a relationship, and some of those things started happening, and I was giving that person second and third chances, but I remember saying I would never do that. And it's like, when you love someone, you tend to give leeway where you shouldn't. But I'm telling you, especially if you love this person, especially if you want to be with this person, the minute that they do something that is unexcusable, you have to leave. Because if not, what's going to happen is they're going to continue to do that. So even if you want them back, which I don't suggest, do not make it easy for them to abuse your trust, to abuse you as a person, because once they know that you're going to stay, they are never going to change. Trust me. Secondly, they're never going to change. Think of all the times that you have been in arguments with your spouse or your significant other, asking them to change, telling them what you need. All the fights that you've had, and that person has promised to do better and better and better. And I mean, it's like, why are you treating this person like a kid? They're a grown-up. They know right from wrong. And it's like, you're putting that person in timeout. Oh, I'm not going to talk to you right now. Oh, I'm not going to sleep with you for a week. Oh, I'm going to ignore your text message for a day. That's grown-up timeout. You're putting that person in timeout. You take them back in a week or a day or in a couple of hours, and they do the same thing over and over again, because they're not going to change, because they don't take you seriously, because maybe they don't love you, or maybe they have someone else, or whatever the reason is. But you constantly taking that person back, it's not going to make them change. You know why? Because they don't care. At the end of the day, if someone is constantly doing something that you have stated that you are against, and they do it anyway, they don't care. When you're at work and your boss asks you not to do something, or requests that you do something immediately or by a deadline, you know what happens? You do it. Whatever it is that's requested, you do it, because you don't want to lose your job. And the same way in a relationship, if someone really loves you, you don't have to tell them more than once how to treat you. They will change immediately, because they value you and they value the relationship that you have. And if you've expressed that you want this person to change and they haven't done it, let me just reiterate this. They do not respect you, and they are just going to do what they want to do because you're allowing it. Look at someone's actions and not their words. Again, actions and not their words. The third thing, they probably have someone else. You should never, under any circumstance, I don't care what the reason is, you should never stay with someone that has someone else. If you find out that you're the side chick, if you find out that the person is married, if you find out that they have multiple girlfriends, multiple flings, whatever, during the relationship that you have, I don't care what the excuse is, you should never accept that. How can someone give you their all when their time and attention is being divided? And I don't care if you're number one. You need to be the only one. This applies to a man that says he's married but separated and, I just can't right now. We have kids, whatever the excuse is. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need that in your life. As someone with an ex that they just can't get over, a relationship they just can't let go of yet. You know, no, you don't need it. One of my favorite shows, other than Divorce Court, I mean, I think those are like the only two shows that I watch, is Cheaters. I used to watch Cheaters. I don't watch it so much anymore, but it always surprises me how I don't even have to catch that I don't even have to see the footage where the person catches the person cheating. But it's like, before I even get there, it's like, girl, your man is cheating. I know it. You know it. I don't even need the whole reason that you call Cheaters is because you knew it. Like, why do you need to follow this man to go confront him when you know that he's cheating? Then they're always like, just something has changed. He just doesn't call me anymore. He's just not here anymore. Like, unless you're dating the president or the CEO of a multi-million-dollar company or someone who's on tour all the time because they're Kanye West, like, there's no reason that the person that you're talking to doesn't have time for you, that they don't call you, that they don't come see you, that they disappear days on end and pop up with a crazy excuse. When holidays come, they're not there. Valentine's Day come, he has to spend a couple hours with you, but he can't spend the night. Or he could spend the night, but he can't see you in the day. Like, no, I need you that whole day, before and after, and what's up? You know what I'm saying? Like, no, don't let somebody play you like that. If someone, let me tell you guys a quick story. I dated someone, and this was the honest to God truth. I had no idea that this happened or that this was going on, but I was dating someone who was probably the oldest person that I had ever dated. He was in his 30s, and I had just gotten out of college, and a couple years after college. And so this person owned their own business. Just being naive, this is the only person that I knew that owned their own business. And he used to tell me all the time, I can't stay over, I can't see you all the time, I can't talk to you all the time. He wouldn't say it verbatim like that, but that's kind of how it was. It was like he showed a lot of interest when we were together. We went on dates, and we texted and we talked, but it wasn't like if I were dating someone my age who had a lot of time for me, like, maybe we spent all the time at each other's houses after work. It was nothing like that. It was like I would see him, and but I didn't see him frequently. And I just chalked it up to being young and naive, as, he owns his own business and he's just busy. He's just working. He's just on his grind. Tell me why I find out that the man is married. No wonder you don't have time for me. Not only are you married, but it's not like you're married and separated. You're married and you live with your wife and you have kids, like kids plural. So it's like, ever since then, if you don't have time for me, something must be going on. And I don't have time to figure it out. And I don't want to know what it is, to be quite honest. Like, if you can't make time for me, an adequate amount of time for me, and I don't mean clear your whole schedule for me, because I need to be on my grind too. But if it's fishy, like if it's like you can't spend Valentine's Day with me, but we're together, you can't carve out like dinner with me, you can't stay over, you can't do like certain things that just a normal person should be able to do. You have two phones, but I can only have one number. Like, no, like I'm never going for that again. And that situation just kind of taught me to just not be so naive. So I told you 3 reasons why you shouldn't take that person back. They probably have someone else. They're never going to change. And you're training yourself to accept the things that you shouldn't accept. Obviously, that's not an exhaustive list, but I just wanted to, just talk to you guys and just basically tell you guys, like, don't be out here falling for the okie doke. Like, don't be out here just giving chance after chance after chance when it's not necessary. There are so many other men and women in this world who will give you the time, the attention, the love that you deserve. And I know that it's easier said than done. Please trust me on this. But, like, you have to figure out what you want out of life. And the things that we really want, they don't come easy. If you really want a loving, caring relationship, it's not going to come with you staying with someone who's not giving you that. And it's going to be difficult because if you are with someone who's giving you the opposite of that, you're going to have to leave them. And you're going to have to leave them, and you may be single for a while, or you may not be. I don't know the future, but what I'm saying is you don't need to settle for anything. I heard one of my favorite preachers say that chemo is hard and it's difficult and it's not pleasurable to go through, but chemo is always better than cancer. A negative relationship, a cheating spouse, an emotionally abusive partner, they are all cancerous to your life. They're cancerous to your self-esteem. They're cancerous to the person that you want to become, to your better self. And, loneliness and sad times after a breakup, that's the chemo. You know what I mean? Breaking up with someone that you love, someone that you care for, someone that you see potential in, telling them that's it, I can't do it anymore. That's chemo. But that is always better than cancer. Being with someone who eats away at you, being with someone who eats away at your self-esteem, who abuses you, who doesn't trust you, who's always going through your phone, going through your purse, accusing you of random things, just being crazy and psycho. And, you're trying to have this positive energy and wake up feeling refreshed, and here they come being negative Nancy. That's cancerous to your life. And so my last words for you today are, don't settle for cancer because you're afraid of the chemo. So that's today's show, you guys. If you haven't already, go over to BrittanyGShow.com, join the G Show family. I give out giveaways. This is the way for you to connect with me. The book is coming out, First Comes Love, and for those that are signed up, you're going to get that book for free. But you can't get it if you're not a part of the G Show family. So if you haven't, gone on over to BrittanyGShow.com, and sign up, join the family. And then episodes come out weekly. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in and listening. And until next time.